In Galatians, St. Paul mentions how God sent his son in the fullness of time to be conceived. And it leads me to just kind of think about, last week I posted on the concept of chronos versus kairos, time, and just the whole sense of timing and how God has a tendency to put things in our lives that end up working toward his good, but at the same time don't always make sense. So, like, health issues that end up coming up, something that seems inherently bad, God somehow ends up using for our good. Like, I mean, even looking at Mary in general, all of a sudden here she is conceived with child and in an age where it's not okay at all. And she's basically up for being stoned, and then Joseph stands for her and says, no, I will take care of her and everything else. So this whole concept of timing that God has, but not ever fully understanding it. It's like we can look at the fullness of time, but still not, we have to trust God's guidance and trust the inclinations that he gives us through the Holy Spirit in order to continue on with whatever it is that he is encouraging us to do. And then in that, praying. In the Catechism, it talks about how in the fullness of time, like Christ's prayers, how he had this continual petition for certain things, like when Lazarus was raised from the dead, and there are different segments where it makes you inclined to think that Christ had continual petitions. So in timing, we have to be persistent, and we also have to allow that chronos time to continue to guide us so that we can continue to seek God and continue to seek what it is that he wants us to find. And if we're open and available, then he will show up and show us what it is that we need to know. So this week's brief, I am in Brown County, Indiana, with my boyfriend, and we are just kind of wandering around, and so I'm heading back to Kalamazoo here tonight, so I'll have a late night tonight, but definitely wanted to check in with you guys. Again, with the timing, God has his ways, and we will always hear from him as long as we remain open and have our ears open to him. So may God bless you this week. I will see you guys again next week. Have a great night.